Hi pension subscribers and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about getting authorized FCA DB advice if you haven't reached your retirement age of 55 yet. I say 55 because that is the minimum age that you can access money inside a SIP, obviously which we move into age 57 from 2028. So a lot of people will come to us as clients and say, Dominic, I can't get DB advice yet because I'm age 53, but I'd like to get in touch with you to start the conversation for when I'm 55. And I say to them, who told you cannot get advice at age 50? Say, oh, all the financial advisors I spoke with. So what it actually means is that financial advisory firm doesn't have the insurance terms to be able to work with you under the age of 55, or their compliance department has said they don't wish to work with clients below the age of 55. The reason for this is the rationale is saying, well, why would you leave your safeguarded income for life, indexation, final salary, gold-plated scheme before age 55 if you can't access it? What benefit do you have? Well, there's other benefits, but what you're going to miss out on that indexation. So say you have a client who's 35, why would they give up 20 years worth of indexation with their scheme? So most insurance firms will only allow pension transfer specialists to begin providing DB advice with clients when they're over 54 or 54 and a half. Some allow 50. Here at Cameron James, our insurance terms are pretty good. We've never had a client complaint. As such, we're a little bit more flexible in terms of our client situation. In saying that, we do proceed with caution with anyone who is under the age of 55. For example, if you have a client come through who's age 35, they have very little other assets, their DB really is their biggest thing in their life, and as long as they don't have any ill health, serious ill health, anything like that, it's almost highly going to be unsuitable for them to get DB pension transfer advice, because obviously just from the initial information you can see, the chances of their advice process being to transfer as suitable is quite slim. So with a client like that, we may be able to decline to even begin an advice process with them or facilitation process for them to get pension transfer advice. On the other side of the equation though, you might have a client in their late 30s, I've had this a couple of times now, former bankers or even a couple of fund managers coming through and saying, Dominic, I have £1 million in my DB scheme. I'm also worth 5, 10, 15, 20 million. I manage all my money myself. I'm extremely experienced in investments. I want to invest this £1 million very aggressively over the course of the next 20, 30, 40 years. I would really like to grow this money, and I don't feel like my DB scheme is really going to benefit me compared to say other people inside the scheme. That type of situation is a case where we may look at it on a case-by-case basis, but still compliance would want to understand why now? That's the question, why now? The pension transfer specialist will be asking why now? Why leave a scheme which is indexed and is going to grow for you guaranteed compared to possible stock market returns? Obviously with a balanced adventurous or adventurous portfolio, there's a high likelihood you could outperform the performance of your DB scheme by holding a, say, 60 plus equity weighted portfolio, but there is no guarantee. One of our clients with this actually was a client that we said to them, look, we don't believe we're going to be able to provide any facilitation for you here. We suggest you look for another financial advisory firm. The client actually came back to us and said, Dominic, you're wrong. I called the FCA and the FCA said there is no rule on what age you can achieve final salary pension transfer advice. And I said, you are 100% correct. However, there's the FCA rules, and then there's obviously all the insurance firms who insure financial advisory firms for working with clients. And obviously they deem it too high a risk on certain clients because obviously the transfer suitability might not really be there for the client. So it's a little bit like saying, that whilst the FCA may say there's no minimum age, there actually really is a minimum age because obviously it comes down to your independent situation. Guys, if you have any questions on this or you want to get in touch, if you're under the age of 55, if you want to wait to 55, what the possible advantages or disadvantages of that are, we're more than happy to have a conversation with you. One of the key disadvantages I can see with waiting until 55, if you are a bit younger, is what will the DB pension transfer market look like in 1 year's time, 2 years' time, 5 years' time? 1 year's time, probably pretty predictable. Average DB report fee now is around 3,500 to 4,000. Maybe that would get up to 4,500, 5,000. Maybe there'll be 20, 30% less IFAs providing DB advice in the market. Fast forward 5 years though, it's almost impossible to say. Could a DB report be £10,000? Would the market have shrunk by a further 90% with more people exiting the market? The possibility or chance of more financial advisors coming into a highly regulated, very expensive and difficult market, I think is slim. So over the course of time, you do just need to bear in mind that access to final salary pension transfer advice is something which is really, really crucial to you. It's not necessarily just a statement of you saying, oh, whether I want to transfer it or not. Can you find an authorized and regulated firm to produce the pension transfer specialist report for you, and obviously willing to take on that liability of doing the transfer. Guys, I hope this has been a useful video for you today on age in terms of final salary pension transfers. Get in touch below via all the usual links if you want to have a conversation with myself or get booked into the diary. Thank you very much.